How to talk to your partner or significant other about anything, or creating the context for self-expression. No matter how long you've been with your significant other or how close your relationship is, sometimes things come up that are difficult to talk about. And this is the reality for everybody. But what's funny is it's those things that are tough to talk about that are probably the most significant things that need to be addressed. So how can you talk to your significant other about anything? And I mean anything. Well, I'd like to introduce you to a concept called self-expression. It's simple in theory, but it's very difficult in practice. But I'm going to give you a few steps and show you exactly what to do to get this going and why it's important. So we're going to talk about what is self-expression, why it's important to have, and how you can instantly put it into practice in your life. Self-expression is the expression of one's own personality, feelings, or ideas. Along with that, self-expression is clear communication that is also authentic. In fact, I believe that self-expression is an important skill for the next generation, not only for relationships, but also in business and technology. I know it sounds simple, but why do we struggle with self-expression? I mean, can't we just come out and say what we want to say? Sure, you can, but sometimes it comes out perceived as angry or misunderstood in some way. And this only leads to more awkward conversations and possibly even more fights. So if you just say what you're going to say and it comes out sounding wrong or misunderstood by someone, it can actually be more damaging than the original intention. So what do? We sit passively by, we don't say anything, in fear of, hurting someone's feelings or just keeping our ideas or thoughts bottled up inside. But this is damaging. This is damaging to our psyche and our spirit. So it's important to let things out and just be real. It's important for ourselves to be expressed and for our loved ones to know how we feel. So why does so much of our daily conversation seem fake? Why are we afraid in the first place to confront something? Well, the reason is that we as humans have a tendency to want to predict someone's reaction to something, especially if we've had a history with them. We've seen them act negatively in the past, and we think that's how they're going to react now, when we talk to them in the present. And from all my experiences, I found out that we humans are horrible at predicting the results of anything. From talking to a loved one or spouse to choosing the next hot stock. It doesn't matter what it is, we simply can't predict the future. But there is something we can do to help. If we can remove our story or preconceived idea of how someone is going to react, it is going to open up a whole new place where we can express ourselves. The way that we remove the story is that we recreate that person as something else. To recreate someone, we simply think about a good time we've interacted with them and keep that feeling alive. What works best for me is to think about the time I fell in love with my wife, or when my daughter drew me a birthday card and proudly displayed it for all the family to see. These are both times where I knew that something was right and it felt good. By going back to the moment in my head, it calms the nerves and it could give a sort of like a meta view, or a view that no matter what happens or what is said, everything is going to be okay. So here are the exact steps to take to have a solid self-expressed conversation with anyone in your life. Number 1, center yourself and recreate the person. Before you begin talking to them, simply close your eyes and recreate them in your mind. Find a place where things feel good and remember that feeling. Do this before your conversation with them. Step 2 is try to get that person at their best. For example, if you know someone who, say they love eating, take them to their favorite restaurant. Or if they love sports, take them out to see their favorite basketball team. This makes sure that the environment is conducive to your conversation and that they feel comfortable. Step 3, simply say what you're going to say. Be true to how you feel and don't be attached to having any particular outcome to the conversation. Change in any relationship doesn't happen overnight. as kind of a bonus while you're talking, avoid any sort of blame language. And what I mean by blame language is make sure that you're sensitive to their feelings and avoid anything with I or you in it. Step number 4, make sure that you offer yourself for clarification or any questions that might come up, anything that was unclear in your conversation. This way you'll make sure that you're fully understood. Like I said before, it's easy in theory, but a little more difficult in practice. If you're going to have a really heavy conversation with your wife or significant other, you might want to practice this with a friend so that you can get a feel for how it's going to go. The cool thing is that once you put this into practice in your life, it will almost become second nature to you. And that's when the real fun begins. You see, when you live a life of self-expression, you can tell your spouse or partner anything without fear of being rejected or ridiculed, and a whole new world will open up for you to explore with the people you love. If you don't put this into practice, this whole practice of self-expression, you're going to continue to keep your emotions inside. You will live in a world where things are kept in your head and unable to be expressed. And this is a bad place to be because those feelings could quickly become caustic and blow up at any time. In conclusion, keep it real. Thanks for listening, and I hope you got value out of this video and are open to the possibility of living a life of self-expression, free from the grips of the past. You know, recreating someone can get a derailed relationship right on course. If you like what you saw, please leave me a comment below. I rely on your feedback to make the videos that you want to see. Thanks for watching, and thanks for rethinking ritual.